Hello and welcome to Loving Me, Myself, and Life with me, Jody Misiak. So September has always been a time for me at least, where I really get back into a nice loving routine. Now, there's no right or wrong time. Actually, let's go with there's never no wrong time to start up a new healthy loving routine. I just feel that September is really good, and with this year, both my kids are now in school. My son started kindergarten. So this year I've really have like a clear schedule what my day is going to look like. It's not me putting in like my mom duties with my work and my me time and all this like all over, like no clear times. So this year I've really got a real clear schedule and it's really beautiful. And it feels so good to have this healthy, loving routine. Now, is it perfect? No. I just began it again. Over the summer, I kind of started it. I had an idea of what it might look like or what I wanted it to look like. And I started trying to fit it into my crazy summer with 2 kids home. And it kind of worked sometimes, and sometimes it didn't. And one of the things I found is it's very important to be gentle and loving to yourself when you're starting new habits or creating a new routine. I also now have discovered, now that I've really started it, especially this past week, is wow, does it feel good? Does it feel good to start the day on the right foot? It's really, our day can really just go in a different direction when we give ourselves some time in the morning and just setting ourselves up for a really good day. Now, does that mean everything's going to go smooth and awesome throughout your day? Possibly not. Probably not. But when you lay the groundwork in the morning, and I'll share with you what my routine is, and when you lay the groundwork, it's that foundation for your day. You have something to lean on. You filled your cup up first thing in the morning. And then whatever life throws your way throughout the day is a little easier to manage, a little easier to kind of work through. You find yourself maybe having more patience. It feels really good to start the day on, like in just such a great way. Now, one of the things for me is I'm slowly changing my routine and working it into things. And I'll get into that as well. Because one of the things I found is I'm usually an all or nothing kind of girl where I'm like, this is my routine and this is what is happening. And it's like this huge long list, or, like I have to do it all right away. And sometimes that works for me. However, sometimes it's not very manageable. We set ourselves up for a little bit of disappointment or failure because we want to do, we haven't had a routine. And all of a sudden we want to go from no routine to having like a couple hours in the morning, this crazy, fancy, beautiful, amazing routine that maybe you can get to, but it might not be super reachable or doable right away. So what does my routine look like right now? It is, I wake up, I actually say goodbye to my kids in the morning first. So I get dressed and brush my teeth, wash my face, and I say goodbye to the kids. And my husband is fortunate to be able to walk the kids to school. And so that gives me that time now to have my me time before I, get into my own work mode. So I sit down on my meditation pillow, and it's in my closet. And so it's just off between the bedroom and the ensuite. And I just take some time. And I do tapping, so EFT, so emotional freedom technique. And I tap. And it might be like if something's bothering me or if I'm just trying to release some stress or whatever. But I have been tapping for a while, not consistently. All these things I've been doing, I haven't been doing consistently. However, that is my focus is now to be consistent in how I'm showing up for myself, for you, and for my clients and everybody I want to support is one step at a time. And now it's being like my focus right now is committing to my routine and showing up for me and being consistent. So I do tapping and whatever showing up. I meditate, and it's usually I'm doing 5 to 15 minutes of meditation. I usually use guided, especially in the mornings, just because my mind could be working overdrive. Like, what am I going to do with my day or whatever's going on? So I usually do a guided meditation, and then I do yoga. Now, those are my 3 things right now. And what I'm going to be incorporating in is also moving my body. Like, I've done it a little bit this week. I haven't been consistent yet, so that's why I didn't put it in. But like I went for an hour and a half hike with a friend. Started in the forest and ended up at the beach. Like, it was this beautiful, beautiful hike, and it got my blood flowing and everything I wanted. So it's just about getting into a consistent routine with moving my body as well, because it feels so good moving my body, getting things flowing. So that's the other thing I'm going to incorporate. And then the other one is something that I do when I'm stressed or I need to vent or things, and it's journaling. And I'd like to actually get into a habit of just journaling, even if there isn't anything going on. So just laying, my feelings, my thoughts, whatever's going on in the pages. So that's another thing I'm going to incorporate into my day, or into my morning routine, I should say. So, and then I've always been meditating in the evenings. Like, as I go to bed, I have a meditation that I listen to at night. So that is my morning routine though. And it just feels so good. I haven't been doing it that long, but every day that I have done it, it just really just makes that day just so much amazing. And the more I follow through, it's like, yes, I did it. Like, it gives you this confidence for your day. It gives you this energy that's just like, like, I'm good to go for the day. And it's incredible. Now, there'll be things I'll sprinkle in throughout my day, like maybe an afternoon meditation and stuff. But like I said, starting slow and slowly incorporating things. And it's just, it's amazing how your day can really take shape when you just take some time for you in the morning. And like I shared, I don't actually do it right when I roll out of bed. Like, there's people, it's like, get on your meditation pillow before you even brush your teeth. Well, I like to brush my teeth before I drink water or do anything else. So it's like, those things happen. What I've discovered is you have to find what works for you. So I decided I wanted to share what I'm doing, just so you have an idea of what it looks like. But just because I do these steps, like my morning routine goes this way, doesn't necessarily mean your routine, your morning will look like mine. Maybe you have to drop the kids off at school. So you might have to do that first. Or maybe you're a stay-at-home mom and you have the kids at home, and it's finding those pockets of moments. I've also have people that wake up before the kids. I tried that. It doesn't work for me personally. And I even remember talking to my naturopath where I said, I have to get up early so I can take time for me. And she's like, you need sleep too. So you got to find what works for you. And so I share my routine only so you can see kind of where I'm starting out. And I'll hopefully share out throughout the year how it transforms. Because as I'm recording this, my son is only in half-day kindergarten right now. And then next week, he will be in full day. So it will take on my whole days will shift even a little bit more. Life is fun. We can have routines, we can have schedules, we can have plans, and life can throw things at us. So again, being gentle with whatever routine, with whatever healthy habits you create. Now, that's not about finding excuses like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow because I don't feel good today. Maybe you do need to just sleep in bed, like if you have a cold or something, nurse that. But we can sometimes, it's this fine line, between making excuses. It's like, oh, I'll put it off till tomorrow. And then there are times though where you're not feeling good and you push through it anyways. There's so much. So listen to your body. Like if you're under the weather, if you're not feeling good, maybe you didn't get a good night's sleep the night before, maybe you've been stressed out. Maybe what you need is to sleep in bed or watch like just a lighthearted movie. You gotta listen from within to see what you really need. So it's having a healthy habit in the morning, like really, or healthy routine, and really lean on that in your mornings. but also pay attention to what's happening within, what's happening around you, and what you need in that moment. Like, for instance, over the summer, oh man, my routine was not great. I'll be completely honest. But I knew when I was feeling yuck. So I was like, whoa, I'm not giving myself enough time. And I'd actually tell my husband, I'd be like, okay, like if I'm not down in the morning, like just make sure the kids are fed and things like that. And I will be down when I'm done meditating and things like that. And just giving myself some time. Or maybe it wasn't in the morning. And I'd be like, I just ducked out and told my husband, okay, I'm going to go meditate. I'll be back. Just so he knew he was on guard. Like if the kids started fighting, he was the referee that needed to break that up. So then I could meditate freely. Like if I heard them screaming, I wasn't like, oh, they're going to hurt themselves. Like hurt each other. I knew that he was, he knew that he was the one in charge of refereeing the kid situation. Because the kids had a lot of time together. So at the end of the summer, they were siblings. Anyways, so it's really important to just, have a support around you. If you don't have the spouse that's home or at all, talk to friends or other family members if you can, neighbors, and just see how you can help support each other through, finding this space that you can allow for yourself. Moving so far away from family, we've really, realized we need to have these other supports around us. So it's just finding your own groove, finding what feels good to you, what works for you, and really just being gentle and loving to yourself through the process, because it is a process. It's like, and if you're like, where do I start with my morning routine or things like that? Maybe you're wondering, like, where do I even begin? Maybe you don't have one, or maybe you do have like this big idea. For the ones that don't know where you want to start for your routine, is just, maybe just start sitting cross-legged and take a deep breath in and just think about what you might need to fill your cup. What is it you need? Is it just that maybe you just need some quiet time to enjoy a nice hot coffee, tea, or hot lemon water, whatever it may be for you, or your smoothie in the day. Maybe it's going for a walk on your own, just to clear your head, to refresh yourself, or whatever it is, to just start your day. Just take those moments. And it also might help to just start jotting things down that make you feel good. Like, do you like yoga? Working, like moving your body? What does that look like? I dealt with a lot of stress over the summer between family, having 2 kids home, trying to juggle too many things at the same time. That will be a whole other episode, I'm sure, coming down the line. And I had to really work on my stress over the summer. So that just, was making sure I had sleep and things like that. And we talked about sleep and stress before. But write down what makes you feel good. And like I said, like for the stress, I'm like, whoa, I need to really get moving my body because it helps with stress. It's a big one to really de-stress myself. That was a big focus for my morning routine. So it could even be like, what are you feeling right now? And how do you want to feel? And then what are things you can do to get closer to how you want to feel? So like I said, I had a lot of stress going on. I'm like, how can I de-stress? How can I be more energetic and flowing and just feel really connected again to myself and to life and in the present moment? And that's how I kind of really started. And I love yoga. Meditation has always been there for me. I may have not been consistent all the time, but it's there. And then journaling just helps get those my thoughts, feelings off the page. And just, it really helps just, ground me and center me. So it's coming up with those things. And then, like I said, exercise. Like for me, moving my body has become one of my biggest priorities now that I have a larger time frame that I can really allow myself to just do the things that I need to do. So writing those down. And then if you are one of those people that are like, I want my morning to look like this, and you already know what you want, look at Write it down then first. If it's in your head and you haven't written it down, please write it down. It feels better getting it out on paper or on a your phone in a notepad or whatever works for you, on a computer, whatever feels right to you. I'm still old fashioned that way. I like pen and paper. And I don't know. I don't know what it is, but that's what I love. So that's how I do it. So write down all the things you want to do in your morning or throughout your day. It could be your whole day. I'm talking about the morning, but this all works for any time. Just because that's what I'm focusing on right now is my morning routine. Because like I said, it really sets your day just, in such a great place. So write down everything you want to accomplish throughout your day, or what routines, whatever healthy habits or routine you want to do. Remember, it's all mixed in with love. Focus on love there, loving routine through it. Write it down. And then pick maybe one or two, maybe three tops things, depending on where you're at. Like if you're already doing one or two things, awesome. And if you've been consistent, then add a couple more in. But just if you're starting out fresh, just grab one or two things. Or if you have like this whole day where it's like, I want to do this in the morning, I want to do this in the afternoon, I want to do this at night, then maybe just pick one thing in the morning, one thing in the afternoon, or one thing at night. Or if that seems like too much, if you're already like, oh goodness me, like I want to do this, but I don't know how, pick one. Okay? Listen in, like check in with yourself. If it feels overwhelming, don't start with all three. Start with one. And when you do that for like a few weeks and you feel confident, then add in another one. And then add in another one after that. Like continues, like it could be a week, it could be a month. It's really what you feel is working for you, or even 2 weeks. Like check in with yourself. One of the like I say it all the time, like a big thing I've realized is we all are different and unique. And that is amazing. And instead of trying to force ourselves into this idea that we need to fit into, it's about creating the box that works for you. Or maybe even like opening up the box. You don't need a box. It's finding what works for you. So when I say, you might need to give yourself some, like a couple weeks, maybe it's a month or 2 months, and it's just being gentle and loving to yourself. Like for me, I finally feel like I've had a solid routine for a couple days. And I'm thinking like, oh, by next week, like I'm going to throw in working out. But maybe over the weekend, something might throw me off and I'll just be like, let's focus on this and then maybe add the other one in. Because the last thing I want to do is go backwards. Like, and if it happens, though, if a day I have it, get homesick maybe, it's like I have to give myself a little grace and a little extra love that day. And then hopefully reconnect to my meditation mat later in that day, or even still do it once, I've comforted my child. So it's really, it's creating healthy habits without being so hard on yourself. Because part of the reason I personally am doing this is to reconnect myself, deepen the relationship with myself, even more loving towards myself. So if I start beating myself up because I missed a day, or, maybe I meditated only for 2 minutes instead of 5, it really undoes what I'm trying to accomplish, right? So, think about why you want to have these healthy, amazing habits in your life. And also think about how you want to feel. And hopefully they can gel together. Because if you have a routine, like say you want to feel happy, and you have this morning routine that makes you feel anything but, maybe look at your routine. So again, focus on how you want to feel, and then just make sure that routine of yours is in line with how you want to feel. Maybe it was somebody else's idea that you practice for a marathon and you're running every morning. You're like, I don't like running. I like Zumba or walking through the forest or hiking uphill for like hours and then running down, like whatever it is. So whatever your feelings are, hopefully whatever your routine or whatever healthy habits you want to create are in line with how you want to feel. And if they aren't, just make little adjustments. Now, that being said, I think about my workouts. And maybe though, if you work out, like I do some heavy, I love cardio and weight lifts, like all at the same time and going intense, very like for shorter periods of time, but like really crazy. They might not make me feel good in the moment, but after the workout, I feel amazing and energetic in what I want to feel for my day. Sometimes it's how you feel after the activity or the habit you want to create, right? So that thing might not necessarily make you feel good. Or like for instance, journaling. If I've had a hard day, I might be crying while journaling, right? And that's not how I want to feel, but it's how I feel after doing it. That's really in line. So I hope that makes sense. And remember, find what works for you. Take a moment, sit, be still, listen from within. You know what you truly want and need. And if you don't, take a couple more deep breaths and just sit there and ask yourself, what do I need right now? And how do I want to feel? I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day. Bye for now.